Hey, what's going on, everyone? In this video, we're going to be talking about the difference between inbound and outbound and the differences between these two things and how I've used this to make over $4 million in my businesses by transitioning to inbound versus strictly using outbound. Now, if you don't know me, my name's Eric Deeren, and I run a program called Master Filmmaker, where we've helped over 400 plus video business and creative business owners on a one-to-one basis implement sales, marketing, and fulfillment systems so they can grow their business. And I'm making these trainings on YouTube so then you can take some of this knowledge for free and start using it in your video business and start scaling your business as well. All right, so let's talk about the difference between inbound and outbound. So what does this even mean? So inbound means when someone reaches out to you. That means that they're reaching out to you. It also means that they have a level of intent. And so what that means is they're reaching out to you with some sort of level of intent. They are interested in something that you have. Now, outbound is when you reach out to them. And that means that you have the intent. And so the key thing here is the intent. And so the intent equals power. So whoever has the intent has the power in the sales conversation. Now, let's talk about what most people do. So what most people do is they have a list of contacts or names here. They reach out to those people and they make contact with them. And then they try to manufacture intent. And then from there, they typically book a small number of clients. Now, let me be super clear here. This can work, and it does work, right? This is going to be your cold outbound method, right? So it's cold outbound, it's cold calls, it's cold DMs, it's all of those things. And like I said, these things can work, and they do work. But the problem is you have to do a very large volume of these things for it to actually work, which means you have to do a ton of these things, which in the beginning can work. But the problem is as you start to scale, you either have to scale by getting more people to do more volume, or you have to simply scale by just doing more volume, which eats up and takes up a lot of time, right? So that's the key difference here. So with outbound, you have a list of contacts, you reach out to them, you try to manufacture trust, and you book a small number of those people as clients. But the problem is most people give up by the time that they actually book some clients because it's such a painful process. It's really difficult to go through. Now, let's talk about what I switched to and why this has made such a difference, and that is going to be the inbound system. Now, with an inbound system, what happens is you have a traffic source. These people from this traffic source that you're driving in here, they reach out to you and they raise their hand. You then speak with people who are already interested and reached out to you. And then from there, you book a larger number of the total percentage here. Now, the key thing here is you're already speaking with people who are already interested in working with you. You're not speaking with people that you have to reach out to. Like, think about it this way. If somebody comes to your door and they knock on your door, right, and they ask you for something, they're the ones who reached out to you. You have all the power because you don't have the intent. Whereas if you go and reach out and knock on someone else's door, they have all the power because you're reaching out to them. Now, it's easier to fall into a lower status frame when you're doing outbound because you are the person that is reaching out to them and they have all the power because you need something from them. Whereas the inbound system essentially flips the script on that. And that's why I love it so much, because I look like I have more power and I look like I'm not as desperate because these people are coming to me directly. This means that I can simply talk to people who are leads who come into my database, which turn from leads into calls, which turn into clients, right? So I would rather talk to people who reached out to me than have to go and reach out to other people and look needy and desperate. And so that's why I prefer inbound over outbound, because it's a lot easier to talk to people who already want to talk to you, as opposed to forcing conversations and making people talk to you that don't actually want to talk to you. And unfortunately, what a lot of coaches are teaching is this outbound because, hey, this is great for beginners and there's nothing wrong with this, but it does take a lot more time to get traction. You have to do a lot more volume. Whereas for me, I would rather just pay for a traffic source and then have people reach out to me as opposed to me having to reach out to them. Now, you may be wondering, why does this actually matter? And the reason is because the more people and leads that you can speak to that have a higher intent, the easier it is to waste less time, make more money per unit of effort. And so I would rather have more leverage on my time than have less leverage, have to do a ton of work, and it makes it a lot harder for me to get to my business goals and my revenue goals. And the intent, like I said, of the person needs to be strong in order to make the sales conversation an actual useful conversation. And this is one of my favorite sayings, but it's not your job to manufacture interest, that is the job of your marketing and your inbound system to generate that interest. Now, let's go through one of our clients' actual inbound systems you could see here. So the way it typically works is, let me move this down here. So the way it works is he has a lead capture page here, and then that drives into an actual page where he has his value video. And then from there, they can book a call, which then takes them to the confirmation page here. And then that confirmation page then sets them up with a Zoom link where they can get on a Zoom call with him to talk about video services. And then that turns into a sale from here. And so he's only talking to people who have already been pre-nurtured and pre-framed before talking with him with his content. So they're much warmer and much more likely to close, and they already know what it is that he does. And this is the benefit to having an inbound system. So you're not getting on the phone with people who are like, who are you and what do you do again and how can you help me? Because you explain all of that in this value video here. And then he's able to obviously follow up with these leads using our CRM that we set up with him. And he's able to use those automations to get them eventually to book a call again if they don't buy right away. And if you want more details on this inbound system and how it could actually help you scale your video business, there's a link below to a free training that I go through on how to actually set this up for your video business and how you can use this to scale your video business and get more inbound leads as opposed to outbound leads. So if you want to check that out, just click the link below and we will see you in the next video.